Hi guys, so we wanted to do a how we met because we see it like all over YouTube, and we've talked about how we met and stuff like that, but we never had like a specific video on it. And yeah, so let's talk about how we met. We met in high school. I was 16 and he was 15. I was a junior and he was a sophomore. So yes, I'm older than him. I'm a cougar. No, my stepdad was in the Air Force. His sister was in the Army and he lived with his sister. So that's how we basically met, on the base that we were all stationed on, and we were going to high school at the same time. Right?
Right.
So then after we met,
was there, right?
Right, that's why I should make sure I was right. So you got on the bus and your friend said what? He said, who was that or something?
Yeah, so I guess she had went to the school before I got there.
My sophomore year, I was gone. I have to tell them why. I was skipping school and running away.
See why I don't talk?
No, I say this though because they're gonna be like, why? Why weren't you in school? I was skipping school and sneaking out my freshman year. My mom found out, and then she literally took school away from me. So my whole sophomore year,
That's TMI.
No, it's not. I was a teenager. I was a child.
So?
How they already know that anyway. It's just never been in a specific video.
But it sounded like you just was running the streets.
I wasn't running the streets. I just normal teen stuff. Like everyone done this. Everyone has snuck out. Everyone has skipped school.
I didn't.
You didn't have to do all that though. Like you were able to do you and be yourself. I couldn't. I had to be. Like, I had to hide it.
Still never snuck out the house at night.
Well, I did. I got in trouble. My mom took school away from me my sophomore year, and that's why I didn't meet him when he first came. So you heard about me, right?
No.
Yes, you did.
Not in a good way.
Whatever.
Get that.
He heard about me. He just didn't know who I was. His freshman year, he was in a relationship with some girl in Cincinnati. So it wouldn't have happened anyway. But go ahead. What happened when you saw me?
A lot of stuff that happened with you was not positive. So
what do you mean?
When you got on the bus, she was out of school, and I guess people had known her before I knew her because that was my first time seeing her. So when she got on the bus, I asked some of my friends that was already at the school, like, hey, who is that? Immediate response, oh, she old news, bro. Don't even worry about that. That's old.
That's not bad, though. That's the thing about it is,
cool.
I was like one of the sexiest people in the school. So to them, they were like, oh, that's just Marcia. But to Riot, it was I was new. So he was like, who is that or whatever. But they were like, oh, that's just Saya. That's just Marcia. That's not bad. Number one, because I didn't mess with nobody for real in that school.
News,
they tried. That's why it probably was old news, because they tried to mess with me, but then nothing happened. So they always called me a tease or whatever, but I wasn't going that way. It just wasn't happening. And I feel like you liked me when you first seen me.
I thought you was attractive, but other than that, not like, oh my God, bro, I gotta be with her.
You were in a relationship.
Right.
When he first got on the bus, because I think I got on the bus first. I was sitting on the bus, and then he got on the bus, and I thought he was cute, but then he opened his mouth, and he started talking, and I could hear he was just doing too much. The way Uriah is, he's just real extra, and I just was like, no. To me at that time, I was like, I'm grown. He's childish. I can't. So whenever he would get on the bus, he would be it would be dead silent in the morning. Everyone would be quiet. He would get on the bus, listening to music, singing music. He was doing something, and it was loud and extra, and I'm shut up. And me and him used to have verbal altercations on the bus, because I'd be like, can you please shut up?
Out of all people that was loud on the bus, it wasn't me.
You were. Why?
After school.
No. In the morning. Why I cussed you out in the morning? I ain't cussed you out in the morning?
Never.
We ain't get into it?
Never.
I told him to shut up and sit down, and he was like,
Never. Always had headphones on. Always sat in the back of the bus.
You ain't said nothing back to me?
Nobody sat in my seat.
So then why we had issues?
There was one specific seat on the left-hand side of the bus.
Why we have issues?
I sat in because I was that dude.
Then why did we have issues?
Where they was like, yo, don't mess with dudes.
He was evil, like he is now.
Just leave him alone, bro.
But why did we have issues?
And it wasn't even I was fighting people and stuff. I just didn't talk to nobody because I kept to myself because I was going to a school I didn't want to go to, and I had friends. My companion that was in Cincinnati, and that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in Cincinnati. I didn't want to be at this school, but I had to come here. I had to go to that school. My family forced me to go to that school, so I was like, when I got on the bus, I just didn't really talk to people. So when I got in, it was this one seat. I don't know what it was, but nobody was sitting in this seat.
It was at the back of the bus.
The back of the bus on the left-hand side. Like, I sat there. If you sat there, I would walk up and I would see you sit there. You get up and just walk away. I didn't say nothing.
He was a loner. I think that's really
shoot. I didn't know if you was going to be here today.
So why didn't I like you? Like, why did we did have issues at the beginning. You don't remember us ever having an altercation?
I ain't give you no attention.
No.
Yeah. It was just
issues,
she used
y'all.
to be like
we got into it
for attention from everybody, and I was not that guy. Wasn't happening.
First of all,
and
I got to teach you 24/7 all
I
the
said
time.
something to her one time.
No, you don't even know the story. That's not what happened. That is not what happened, y'all. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, I was sit on the bus.
No, wait. I was gone. I left in December. I was gone for like 2 weeks, right? And before I left, he had braids, these dusty ass braids. Hated his braids. Like, his sister would not do his hair. It irritated me. So I was just like, I think that's one of the things that irritated me, that and his mouth. And I was just like, I just can't with him. So, and then he was a little chubby back then. So I was just like, I left. I went to Alaska because we were Alaska residents. So when we went back to Alaska to, I think it was receive our dividend, which is money you get when you live in Alaska for as long as we did. And we went back and we were staying up there for like 2 weeks for Christmas and stuff. I came back. He cut his hair. His hair was all like curly. It was like a curly fro. I think y'all seen something similar. It was something like that, but it was really cute on him. And he had like that baby face and stuff. So like to me, I came back. And he was like a whole nother person. So I'm like, oh. Like, okay, he's kind of cute now. Like, okay, well, I like him. Like, in my head, when I seen him, like, okay, well, maybe I do like him. I have a crush on him, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happened. That is what happened. I seen you after you cut your hair. But still, again,
we never, ever talked.
We did.
For a long time, we would never really, like, say nothing to each other, even with my haircut. So
no, when you got your haircut, he had a best friend named Caleb. Well, I told her, I was like, I think he's cute. And then I think she was like, write him a note or something, she said. So I wrote him a note and I was like,
but that ain't how it happened the first time. The reason why you wrote that note,
he swears,
is because one day,
I just told you why I liked you.
She got on the bus. There was no seats left. We used to ride the yellow cheese, the big cheese. The seats is like the long seats. There's nothing in the middle or whatever. So I used to always put my leg up in the seat so nobody else would sit with me. It's just me and my seat. And there wasn't no other seats left except for my leg seat. My leg seat.
You see there's no seat,
she came
right?
over.
When you move your foot.
And was like, can you move? And I'm like, no.
Like yes,
you can ask to sit here.
No,
it's pretty simple. Like just ask to sit here, and then you can sit here.
And I said no.
And she was like, "Well, never mind then." And then like tried to like walk off.
There was no seats.
Where there was no other seats at all.
He pissed
and so
me off.
I grabbed her by her waist and pulled her in between my legs.
He had just broke up with his girlfriend, which obviously I didn't know because I didn't know him.
I told her, I said, well, you could just sit down. But that's what I missed. I was like, you could just sit down.
Yeah, and I said,
I don't need to move my leg. And then she like, no, I'm not. And so she went to walk off, set her in between my legs, and then she just gonna look at me like, ugh.
He swear I sat there too. I did not. I said move your foot. And you eventually moved your foot.
I didn't.
You did. Eventually you moved your foot because at first he wouldn't move his foot. I'm like, I'm not sitting here. Move your foot. Like okay, I did have a crush on him, so I did kind of giggle or whatever. But I was like, move your foot. Like I'm not like that. Like,
I did eventually. Like I moved my foot eventually because it was just uncomfortable. So I moved my foot, and then we sat in the seat. And then, after that, I just listen to music or whatever, and what you listening to? And then I used to listen to slow jams, because that just was me, so I think at the time I was like, Pretty Ricky was my group boy, so I'm listening to like Pretty Ricky, and then she like, can I hear it? So I let her listen, and she like, oh, that's what you listen to? Like,
Your perception of what happened is like...
And I'm like, yeah, that's
so anyway, I wrote him a note and I gave it to him. I had my number on there, whatever, and I was like, I like you, you're cute, call me. And then he eventually like called me or whatever, and then we talked that way.
Made her wait though. She was over there nervous.
He lied. He had football or whatever, so he didn't call me that day that he got the note. He called me the next day. So anyway, we started talking and stuff. And then we went to, I think that weekend, we went to the mall. His sister dropped him off and my mom dropped me off in the mall. Obviously, she didn't know. You know, I was going there to meet him or whatever. So we hanging out. I had my friend with me and he had his friend. And they walked off or something. And I'm like, so when are you going to ask me to be your girlfriend? And then he's like, what? I'm like, you like me, I like you, you're my boyfriend, but you have to ask me. Like, I'm not going to, I'm telling you that you're my boyfriend, but I'm not about to tell you. I need you to feel like you're the man, you know? So I was like, you need to ask me to be your girlfriend. And he talking about, oh, well, I think, did you tell me or did DJ tell me? Or no, you said it. He was like, oh, well, I'm talking to somebody else, so I don't know. Or something he said. I'm like, oh, you talking to somebody else. So the next day at school, or no, this wasn't even at the mall. This was another time you had said that. Then the next day at school, I went and I found the girl he supposedly was talking to. And I'm like, are you talking to Uriah? She's like, Uriah? Like Uriah. So he lied. He talking about he's talking to her. You weren't talking to her.
I definitely
She was like, in what way? You keep saying that, but she's gay, like lesbian now. Like she didn't even like you, like for real. She said to my face, like the way she didn't even know I was talking to him. That's the thing. It's not like she was scared or anything. She just was like, Uriah. Like, no, I'm not talking to him like that. Like I talked to him, but not like that or whatever. And then so I was like, oh, okay. So I went back to him like, she said that y'all not talking, so you need to ask me to be your girlfriend. He waited till we went to the mall, and then he like
thirsty.
Whatever. Look who's married to him though. Okay.
Bet you if she wasn't gay, and she'd be mad like,
whatever.
Dang, I should have talked to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Now.
Anyway, he asked me at the mall to be his girlfriend, and that's what happened. I think all this happened within like 2 weeks or something. Right? Something like that, within the bus in the mall and then all that, and we were together. And yes, that is how we met.
After we left the mall and I asked her out, our first kiss.
Oh yeah, that was awkward. Like I don't know. He was sitting on like some swing bench type thing. He was sitting on somebody's swing bench. And then he walked me to my house, not to my house, like I said, my mom's crazy. So he walked me like to this pathway that was by my house. And then he sat on the bench. He was like, bye. And I said, bye. And then like we just looked at each other because I was like, oh, like I was so nervous. Like, oh my God.
Her friend told her to give me a kiss.
Yeah, and I'm like, I should kiss him. I'm like, and I just was looking at him. It was so awkward. Like we were just looking at each other. And then I was just like, and then I ran. And he just like sat there like that was so awkward. Cause thinking about it now, like I literally ran like a crazy person.
Yeah.
That is how we met. And now we're married. And how did you propose?
I ain't even about to get into that.
Why? So like 4 months later or 5 months later or something, it was like so stupid. But he was like, he brought a ring. I went over his house. He brought out a ring pop and he was like, will you marry me? With a candy ring pop. And I looked at him, I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, what? And then I just like brushed it off like, ha 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 ha. And then he took a ring from behind his back and was like, no, really, will you marry me? And I was like, oh. But like I said, we were like 16 and 15. So it was real childish. But that was basically our engagement thing because you never asked me again. And I just had a ring ever since then. And then we got him a ring so that he could wear it just because we were extra. And I was like, if I have a ring, you need to have a ring so people need to know. Like, everyone in school needs to know, like, we're engaged, you know, like, the whole big thing or whatever. So he wore a ring for the longest. Well, up until we got married, right? He wore a ring from age, like, 16 to...
Still.
Yeah, to now. That was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to y'all later. We're about to go get something to eat. Bye, guys. You have to see yourself. Number one, you're not supposed to be looking at yourself.
Where am I supposed to be looking?
You're supposed to be in the lens. That looks really, like, vain for you to be sitting here staring at yourself. I do that.
I'm supposed to look at myself.
No. When it goes back and I look back on it and I edit, you can tell that you're not looking at them. You're looking like...
I can't like stare at this right here.
At the lens. When you talk, you look at the lens.
That's weird.
You probably have red stuff all in your face. But it was a kiss. Take it and love it. Bye, y'all.